Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with one of the leading voices in healthcare, Dr. Marty Makary. Dr. Makary is a well-known surgeon, public health expert, and professor at Johns Hopkins University. He is also a best-selling author and a powerful advocate for healthcare reform, especially when it comes to transparency and patient safety. You may know him from his books, Unaccountable and The Price We Pay, and his newest book that just came out 2 weeks ago, Blind Spot, that is now on New York's best-selling list, which have sparked important conversations about how to make healthcare more affordable and accountable. Dr. Makary has also been a key figure in public health discussions, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, offering insight and solution for a better healthcare futures. Welcome, Dr. Makary. It's an honor to have you today. Thank you, Doctor. So let's start about, if you give us a little bit about your background, that would be great.
Sure. I came to the country when I was a young child and grew up in the northeastern United States in Pennsylvania. I went to school in the Northeast and really just had a lot of curiosity intellectually, and for that reason got interested in research. And that's been a lot of my focus for most of my career has been research.
Okay, Doctor. So your background as Egyptian, how has that shaped you to become the famous doctor we know now?
I don't know. I did have somebody come up to me after a conference once and tell me that I am what they call a third culture kid. Now, I don't know what that means exactly, but they explained to me a third culture kid, which means that the society that you're in is different from the society that you grew up in, or the society that you were born into, or the society that you're ethnically from originally. So they described third culture kids as feeling like a visitor in society, sometimes a little hyper polite, sometimes a little hyper observant of things that other people take for granted. So I noticed sort of asking questions that I think other people didn't ask when I was a student, young in my career, and I held on to that curiosity, and then in the form of research really sort of developed and found my home in the quest for answers, asking big questions that are not being asked, and that kind of thing.
It's a good key too, for success. Okay, you have made a significant contribution to the medical field, especially in the areas of public health and patient safety. What inspired you to pursue this path, and how do you see your role as a voice for both science and ethics in healthcare?
Well, I think normally in our careers we see things that don't seem right. Injustices, disparities, blind spots among experts. And you want to say something about it. You want to do something. You want to focus your career not on what's important for promotion, but instead on what's going to have an impact in society. And so over time, your goals evolve. And I think pursuing those goals is really what is most fulfilling in life. So I don't really know all the circumstances that allowed me to have all the incredible opportunities that I have had, but I'm grateful for them.
Thank you. So, Dr. Makary, you are known for your insight for the U.S. healthcare system and for advocating for transparency and patient empowerment. So, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing the healthcare industry today?
Well, I think the purpose of science is to challenge deeply held assumptions, and we've got to address the chronic disease epidemic. It is increasing not just in the United States, but in Egypt, all over the world, where we see the adoption of the Western diet, where we see screen time addiction, childhood transforming, and we are seeing a change in a generation that is marked. And we've not seen that sort of rapid change before in how children are raised, how we function and perform as a society, and in what we choose to medicate and not medicate. So we right now have the sickest population in the history of the world and the most medicated population in the history of the world. We've got to challenge a lot of the deeply held assumptions, not to create cynicism, but to ask, is there another approach that we should be taking as a medical field and as a general public? I personally am a big fan of educating people directly. We've got to educate people about their health and health literacy. If you think about the things we learn in school, it is missing a couple big things: financial literacy, relationship literacy, spiritual literacy, healthcare literacy. And so health literacy has been something I've been focused on.
Okay, so that leads me to another question. Like, how can individuals play a role in driving positive change?
So I think you identify people early in your life who are doing inspiring things, and you want to be a part of it. And I would say go ahead and reach out to individuals that you're inspired by. I've certainly done that. And learn from them, spend time with them, and then more opportunities just sort of open up. And if you're willing to take some risk, then there's a potential big reward, not in terms of personal reward, but in terms of an impact and a feeling of purpose in life. Because ultimately what drives a lot of happiness and job satisfaction is a feeling that you're a part of something that's meaningful, something that's contributing to a greater good. I think we have too many people that are just picking up a paycheck every 2 weeks and not really satisfied with their careers. And I think the most fulfillment comes from feeling like you're a part of something that needs to transform in society and has not yet transformed.
Great. So, what advice would you give to aspiring medical professionals in our Coptic community who look up to you as a role model?
Well, I still think medicine is the greatest profession in the world at every level: physical therapy, physician assistants, respiratory therapy, nursing, physicians. There's an incredible treasure for anybody who is ambitious enough and has the sense of a calling to be a part of it. You're contributing to a system that by and large is there to take care of people when they are hurting, when they are in need. And the incredible thing about the healthcare profession is that it unites people who have a sense of compassion. That's one thing that connects every healthcare professional in the world. And it's an amazing job. Where else will somebody trust you to put a knife to their skin within seconds of meeting you, or tell you secrets maybe they've never told anyone else in their life before, but they will share them with you simply because you are the health professional. So it's an incredible honor. It's an ancient ethos that goes back for a long time. So it's a great profession, and I still encourage young people to go into it.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. So, my last question, because I know we're running out of time. So, about blind spots. So, what is the book about, and how can we benefit from this book?
I'm really excited about this book.
The last question, you already started it. Is that book everyone can read it, or only medical?
No, the book is for everybody. It's called Blind Spots. It's available wherever books are sold. It is about the big topics in health that we are not talking about that we should be talking about. The topic of medical dogma, why we tend to resist new ideas as a part of the human condition. And the biggest health recommendations that the modern medical field has gotten wrong, where people need to know the truth. And there's a lot of them. So I go through a lot of these topics so that people can understand how to live healthier, can make better choices with their food and medical care, and have a sort of healthy curiosity for the topics of food as medicine and how we can change our lifestyles to improve our overall longevity and performance, and not just turn to medications, because we cannot keep medicating on this path that we are on. We have the most medicated population in the history of the world. We cannot simply continue down this path of medicating. We need to talk about school lunch programs, not just putting every overweight child on Ozempic. We need to talk about treating diabetes with cooking classes, not just throwing insulin at everybody. And we need to talk about the exposures that cause chronic diseases, not just the medicines to treat them.
Thank you, Doctor. I will read the book. Like, it seems like very interesting information. And أنا عايزة أتكلم بالعربي في الآخر.
Okay, sure.
أوكي، أنا عارفة العربي.
يلا.
يلا. أوكي. عايزة بقى نصيحة منك لكل المصريين اللي جايين من بلادهم في أمريكا. نصيحة منك للآباء، للبيرنتس وللولاد كمان. إزاي ينجحوا في أمريكا ويوصلوا يعني جزء حتى بسيط من اللي حضرتك وصلت له دلوقتي. إيه النصيحة المهمة اللي تقولها لنا؟ advice. عايزين advice من حضرتك.
I think, there's hard work is often rewarded fairly. And so I have spent a lot of time with people at the end of life, and they offer their wisdom at the end of life. And people love being a part of something larger, some greater purpose. It could be anything, a cause, something they believe in. And that's where people find a lot of fulfillment. People often wish they spend more time with their family and their parents. So those are some of the pearls of wisdom that I've gained from my patients who have lived long lives.
Thank you, Doctor. It was an honor to meet you today. أنا مبسوطة جدا جدا إن أنا فعلا أخدت الفرصة دي، اديتنا الوقت البسيط ده. بس we will need يعني whenever you have time. لوجوس تي في مصدر ثقة، البرنامج بتاعي هنقعد مع حضرتك وناخد بقى long interview، مش long قوي يعني 30 minutes.
Okay, شكرا داليا. Great to see you. Thank you so much.
We're so proud إن إحنا عندنا دكتور مارتي مكاري. بجد يعني يعني حاجة تفرح وتشرف كل المصريين. Thank you so much دكتور في الوقت ده. It's a pleasure to see you and God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you.